Hey, welcome to another episode of Sonoma Voices. Joining us today is Gary Umholtz. Gary, can you please introduce yourself and, of course, right away give us the goods. If somebody would to use your services, what's the best way to find you?
Got it. Thank you, Nada. Thanks for the invitation. My name is Gary Umholtz. I work with Guaranteed Rate Mortgage, one of the largest mortgage lenders in the country, and loving my job. I've been doing this for 18 years now. I've been in Sonoma for 23 years and just love Sonoma and everything about Sonoma, the people, the geography, the weather, all of it. And back to the mortgage business, a good way to get in touch with me, just my cell phone is good, 707-338-0338. That's the best way to get in touch with me. If you have any questions at all.
And through me, of course, because you're a member of my team. And
exactly.
you always make me look so good. I trust you. I love you. And I have to jump in right away to say you do your work, your job so wonderfully. I feel confident in sending buyers to you. And number one thing that I love about you, besides everything else, is when I call you and when clients call you, mentioning phone call, you always pick up the phone. Can you comment on that? It's kind of common sense,
but I appreciate that. Common. Right. Well, we practically work 24/7. You always have to be available. Weekends, of course, just like real estate agents, you always have to be available. And the person that answers the phone most often is going to be more successful, in my opinion. So that helps quite a bit. Do you want to hear a little bit about the market now, what we're seeing?
Yes, please. Market is changing. Spring is in Sonoma. Spring is right after January, and spring is whenever the sun is shining in Sonoma. So, what are you seeing on your end?
Right. Well, the last year it's been a slower market due to interest rates rising. We hit a high in October of about 7%. And then we have some nice improvements, got down to the mid to high fives. And currently rates for the last couple of weeks have actually worsened a bit. Good economic news is bad for interest rates. So that where we're at currently, 6.5, mid to high sixes right now. And I have noticed it's getting quite a bit busier currently in the last several weeks. Buyers have finally figured out that they want to buy when other buyers aren't out on the market. When rates improve, which we're expecting to get some improvement into the spring and summer, there's going to be more buyers, more competition for the homes that are on the market. So now they're figuring out now that it really is a good time to buy, because they can negotiate in most cases or many cases for closing costs, for rate buy downs and such. So it's really somewhat of a buyer's market right now. And the more rates improve into the spring and summer, it's going to be more of a seller's market. So there'll be more competition for buyers.
That's absolutely brilliant. That's brilliant. Still sticking with with what we do for a living. We are both in real estate. You're on one end, I'm on the other. Without you, I can't go shopping. I figured out on my own that even if I'm going to buy a pair of shoes, I have to have the budget. So right. You go first, and then when you do your part, then I take buyers and go shopping. That's right. Usually happens. Right. With that, I was going to ask, my business coach taught me 3 principles of my life, my business, how I act, and those are: show up, do your best, tell the truth. Do you have anything like this to share?
I agree with all of that. I concur. And I just add to I always keep in touch with folks. Anyone that's in my database, I'm always going to keep in touch with them. It brings me back to why I originally got in this business.
Yes, I know the story. I love hearing it again.
Almost 18 years ago or so. I actually did work for Security Pacific Bank down in Orange County back in 1989, just briefly, and I was a loan agent then. And I'll never forget when the interest rate went from 10% to 9 7/8, and just the psychological reasoning that it's below 10, we were just inundated with refinance business. So thinking of that time, and then now when rates are in the sixes, it's quite good right now, actually. So in comparison, through my career, I calculated, this was about 18 years ago when I decided to get back in the mortgage industry. I calculated, I had moved so many times. My previous job transferred me. That's how I ended up here, a job transfer. And I transferred around quite a bit. And there were actually 12 buy and sell sides to my real estate transactions, just myself. And none of the realtors kept in touch with me. None of the mortgage people kept in touch with me. And I was just calculated how much money they would have made if they just kept in touch with me, one person. And it's a huge number. So I just decided that, well, all I have to do is keep in touch with people, be a fiduciary for them, do right by the client, and I can't help but be successful. And that's how it's turned out.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned this story before, and we shared the same principles in our business. This is what we do. Of course, that's common sense, but it's not very common as you experience.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, so happy to have you, Gary. Well, tell me when you're not working 24/7. And by the way, I've called you when you were on the downslope skiing and you picked up the phone. So that's how you do things. What do you like to do? I mentioned skiing. So tell me what you do in this area.
I'm an avid snow skier. Back in my early 20s, I was actually a professional ski instructor for many years. So I really love snow skiing and being outdoors. I'm an outdoor guy. In the past 5-6 years, I've become passionate with mountain biking. I love that. Sonoma is a great place for both. It's a quick 2.5, 3 hour drive up to Lake Tahoe for some world-class skiing. And I love the idea of being able to drive home and leave the snow behind and skip all of the shoveling that you'd have to do if you actually live there. And with the local mountains here in Sonoma, up behind Jack London State Park, I mountain bike there. There's Annandale Park in Santa Rosa, Skyline Park, just in the other valley over in Napa, and a lot of great mountain biking down in Marin County, which is actually where the birthplace of mountain biking was down in Marin County back in the late 70s. So I love doing all that. I love being involved in the community. I'm a mentor. I've been 15 years. I've been a mentor at the high school for young boys, and that's working out well. And I'm involved with the Rotary Club, which is a community service organization, and with Pets Lifeline as well. So those are my passion charities that I like to contribute time and money to.
Yes, you are. You work 24/7 and you're involved in all these organizations. Luckily, we carry our office in our phone, so you can sneak out and have a conversation with your client and cover all the bases. Do you ever go to the coast?
I go to the coast every now and again, not as often as I should. I spent 20 years down in Newport Beach, so the coast down there is quite different. It's much warmer and inviting as far as beach going goes. But the beauty and the geography of the beaches here is it's quite amazing. So I do need to get there a little more often. It's a very short drive to the coast.
I think about going to the coast a lot, and just like you said, I don't go too often. Why is that? When it's 90 or 100 degrees here, it's very pleasant on the coast. Then everybody from here goes there. So it's kind of crowded to park.
Right.
There.
And you have the beautiful redwood trees in between. So
yes. If you were to describe to someone who's not from this area, what would you tell them about living in Sonoma? What kind of lifestyle we have here? We already touched on few things, but what can you...
When I originally visited Sonoma, I recall a coworker. I had never even heard of Sonoma, and I was transferred up to work in San Rafael. I'd never been to Sonoma before. He lived in Sonoma. He goes, Gary, and it was this time of year, it's in February. You have to go and check out Sonoma. It's so beautiful. It's a great small town. The mustards are all in bloom. And that's what we're getting right now. It's just beautiful when you see the vineyards covered with all the beautiful mustard flowers. And it's a very community-based town. A lot of people get involved with charities and so forth. I love the small town feel, the square that we have, the farmers market on Tuesday, the 4th of July parade that we have every year. And that's the big difference between just here in Napa, for example. I believe there's about 10,000 population in Sonoma. Napa has 75,000. So it's a big difference. It's a much smaller community, which I really enjoy that hometown feel.
Yes, you have been here for 18 years. I came here 2007. And, I lived in other 4 countries. I honestly didn't wonder if I was going to be accepted or not. It was kind of normal to me that people accept people that have something to offer. And with my accent and all this, I didn't even think about any negatives, if there was any. I truly feel at home in Sonoma. Truly feel at home. Walking around the square, once in a while, I dress up and walk around the square and play the tourist.
Sure.
Just say hi to every shop owner, step in. Just enjoying it. The square of Sonoma has this lawn that I always think about, just like the coast. I think about, why don't I go there and picnic more often? I don't. Isn't that nice when you walk by or drive by, you see families, they're locals, they're not tourists only. They spread their blanket and have their lunch, and kids are playing. It's just really something out of the movie. Speaking about movie, I often think I need to pinch myself. I feel like I am in a magazine, of some fancy magazine, or in a movie. No, it's actually reality. That's how beautiful Sonoma is.
I concur. And it's a great place to staycation. That's kind of a new term over the last several years to just, I've actually gone and stayed at the Sonoma Mission Inn for a night and just pretended we're on vacation, and yet we're home. So it's a great place just for doing that.
So many places like this. How about La Pascal's bakery with the French lady that opened it? You feel like you just stepped into a Parisian neighborhood with her accent and her authentic pastries that I'm trying to avoid as much as I can, and coffee and people, and it's just wonderful. Restaurants, wineries. I don't drink wine, unfortunately, but enjoying watching people on farmers market, enjoying their local foods and wine and having fun.
Right.
Yes, that feel of the community is so much more present here than in any other town, especially comparing to Napa. One of my previous guests says Sonoma is the best kept secret still. When you travel all over the world and you say, I'm from Sonoma. I've never heard about Sonoma. And I said, Napa, Sonoma. Oh, I know about Napa. Even people from my country.
Exactly.
Serbia, they know Napa mines. They don't know Sonoma. And I'm thinking, okay, it's the best kept secret where we live. It's just charming.
I agree.
Yeah. Mentoring Alliance. You and I are in Mentoring Alliance. My experience is magical. I started with my boy when he was third grade. He is a senior in high school now. We kept in touch. Usually, kids, when they go to high school, it's a harder thing to keep in touch because they don't think it's cool anymore. We have a wonderful relationship. I have a wonderful relationship with his parents. He just became an uncle. It's just so many things to do. And so, how about Speaker Series? Have you been to Speaker Series?
I have not. I have not been to that.
Next one is it Syrian or, okay, I'm going to make a mistake, a refugee and his experience of walking. I'm going to butcher this now, but next one is March 6th, and I bought the ticket. Speaker Series is an incredible organization showing, inviting incredible speakers from all over the country and interviewing them. You walked in that place. It's in Hannah Boy Center here in Sonoma.
Oh, right. I've heard of it.
You walk in and you see hundreds of people that you actually know. So it's a place to hear something incredible from the speakers and meet people. That's how we meet, socialize in this little town of Sonoma.
Right.
Well, check it out.
I will.
Did we forget anything else that is special about Sonoma? Weather, climate, food, closeness to the coast, closeness to skiing. We covered it all.
I believe so.
Thank you, Gary, for being a guest. Thank you for doing a fabulous job with what you do, because I know my clients appreciate you. And when I meet clients, they often say, when I ask them, do you have a mortgage broker or you need a recommendation? Oh, I'm with Gary Umholtz. I said, okay, you're in good hands.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you, Nada.
Yes,
and the clients that I talk to as well that are using you say the same. They just love Nada. She's the most special person. So
thank you. Well, let's keep up the good work and be out and enjoy Sonoma. And I hope to see you soon. I sent you my buyer yesterday. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know they're in good hands.
We're communicating already, so that's all good.
Thank you so much. Have a fabulous rest of the week, and I will see you soon.